on? Yeah? Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know anything about
We're
that.
going live.
You ready to go live?
Yeah, why not? What?
Okay.
We don't have a scripter on this joint. Henry McClure live here at the Glass Houses studio. Welcome in James Bolden Jr. to our show.
Thank you, Henry.
This is our show.
It's a pleasure to be here, as
I
always.
like it. 11 o'clock. So you were reading the Bible the other day. What verses were you reading?
Well, I read it every morning, Henry. I try to read every morning. I read some this morning.
What did you read today?
Well, what I'm reading today is, and let me go to it here.
It just kind of sets you on the right path,
It sets you on the right path, Henry. A life motivated by ambition is usually characterized by self-destruction.
Now get that microphone up close, because I want to make sure that our fans...
Let me do that again.
Yeah, our fans hear you.
A life motivated by ambition is usually characterized by self-destruction. Now, do you know what that means, Henry?
Well, sure. If you're just about your own ambition, you're going to tear yourself down and you're going to fail.
That is correct.
You'll fail as a human.
As a human, not necessarily what you...
Business-wise, you may be killing it, but you may not be as good a human as you could be.
You have a wife. You have children.
I used to have a wife.
You have responsibility to the Lord.
Amen.
And so there's more to life than what we call is success.
Yeah, business deals. It's like
correct.
It's like what do you measure success? And I like
yes, sir.
I like to have admiration of children.
Very good.
That's success.
That is success.
Yeah.
Because someone helped you out.
Yes.
When you was a child. Someone helped me out when I was a child. And all we're trying to do is help the children out today.
Well, and there was a lot of loyalty for me just to my mom for having me.
Absolutely.
That was opportunity.
Absolutely. And then she raised you proper.
I've been thinking about, I thought about a word the other day, the infrastructure for opportunity.
Yes, sir. That is. Let me write that down. Hold on just
Isn't that a good saying?
Let me write that down. Infrastructure.
The infrastructure for opportunity. And if we're creating an infrastructure for opportunity, that's basically an even playing field where anybody can succeed. We can't set it up. We can't set it up pay to play, and only, there becomes this division of the people. There's nothing. It's not racial. You can have discrimination based on the lack of infrastructure of opportunity, right?
Based on the lack of infrastructure, that is correct.
Yeah. And so racism is I think the people stealing our money in politics bring up this racism shit to distract us, and this genderism, if you don't know what a man and a woman are, go home. We got two races, good and evil, and
that is correct.
And we've got two genders, man and woman. That's it. Stop.
Well, that is it. That is it.
That's it. Let's just and if we quit arguing about that, we got time to create an infrastructure for opportunity.
Yeah. That is really in reality what it is.
So I've got some, I, Joanne Mitchell, County Election Officer of Shawnee County, Kansas, do hereby certify that the primary election in said county on the 7th day of August AD 1990, James Bolden received the highest number of votes by the Republican Party for the office of Precinct Committeeman, Precinct 7, Ward 5. As appears from the official canvass made from the County Board of Canvassers at a meeting held on the 10th day of August 1990, in testimony hereof, I've hereto set my hand and caused to be affixed my official seal this 10th day of August AD 1990. So your daddy-o was a precinct man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a precinct committee man.
Yeah, and I did not want to get involved in politics, so I'll have to even look up to see what precinct.
Yeah, let's look it up. It's right there. We ought to figure out where it is.
Can you ask your computer right there?
Well, Ziggy ain't gonna know. Ziggy ain't been too sharp lately. We're gonna get Ziggy. We're gonna get Ziggy out here. Hey, Ziggy, what day is it?
Saturday, March 22nd.
Okay.
We can start off with some softball.
Okay.
Good morning. How are you, my friend?
Doing well, sir.
Well, so you still running for mayor?
Well, we are still looking at it.
The exploratory committee.
Yes, we are led by the Spirit, Henry. And the Spirit is. One day I thought, when I got back from that work I was telling you about Thursday, after working all week long, night and day, we finished the job, Henry.
Yeah.
Or the job.
It was a big one.
It was a couple jobs, and we finished them. And Thursday night, I'm saying, well, Lord, you don't want me doing this. I know. I didn't feel it. But then here came Friday, and the Mr. Parvin, and I want to thank you for giving me...
Matt Pavarnak.
I want to thank you for giving me that information. He had responded to me, and because I was working, I was not able to respond immediately.
Yeah, he sent me a couple emails too.
Yes. But I say when I'm working, and as you know, as a businessman, you need to focus on what if you're making money, you've got to focus on.
I'm business.
That's correct.
We're businessmen.
That's correct. And so,
I like you.
Well, I like you too.
You're a good guy.
I like you too, Henry.
You know why? You're a hard worker.
Well, Henry, I felt kind of guilty here.
Why? Would you make a lot of money?
Well, no. We make money, yes, but I felt guilty because I can come in here and I'm going to stay here on Henry Live, and I'm going to.
I know it's all dirty. I'm moving over into the new theater.
But you've got to have it clean when you do it.
I know it.
And I'm going to clean your office floors, and I'm going to clean your carpet.
All right.
And it won't be no charge to you.
No. We're paying away.
No, there will be no.
No. We're paying away.
There'll be no charge.
I'm paying my way.
Well, you give me $100 then.
No. Well, you bid it, and then we'll use Ryan's $100 since that's all he's going to pay.
Okay.
And then I'll make the difference up.
Okay. Well, that's fine.
But
You've been good to me, Henry.
No.
I want to give back.
I've lived in this space.
Yeah, I want to give back.
I've lived in this space.
Yeah, I want to give back. You can give me the opportunity. When somebody gives you something, you should say thank you.
Thank you. And I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But Charlie Wilson and I used to live across the street.
Mm-hmm.
And did you ever know Charlie Wilson?
No, sir. I knew Larry Wilson.
Well, Charlie Wilson was my dog.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I never knew Charlie.
Charlie, he acted like he didn't know what color he was.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't matter. He's colorblind.
Yeah.
Dogs are colorblind anyway.
Yeah. But we have to deal in a society where Henry, where color matters. I have to deal in a society. You may not have to deal in that society.
No, I'm telling you something. I was thinking about this today.
Go ahead.
Where white folk, we have to sometimes justify that we've helped minorities. And that's not fair either.
Well, it's okay.
Well, so like I'm always playing the McClure card, Brown versus Board.
Yeah, it's okay.
He didn't believe in separate but equal. But we shouldn't have to.
Well, now,
and then I can go back on the Bentley on side and on the McClure side, us fighting the Civil War.
Yeah, well, we can go deep into that. But before we go deep into that, I had promised you the interlocal agreement.
Oh, I've had that. I got that.
You got that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know what I want to do with this? I want to do away with it.
Well,
you know why? Because hang on. I'll tell you why. Because Jetto doesn't do jack shit. Over the years, They come together, and you got the city and the county sitting there looking at each other, and they don't know how to develop our community. So this is a waste of time and money.
Well, the thing about it, Henry, is
Not that I have an opinion.
yes. Well, no, you have a. You
No,
have
listen, the Lawrence Bay.
You're referring to another topic. I'm referring to the fact. Can you read number 7 for me?
Okay, number 7.
Number 7.
The Jetto shall utilize not less than 10% of the funds dedicated to economic development to support economic development for racial minorities. See, it doesn't say black.
Well, that's correct. You're correct.
All right.
But we are racial minorities, right?
I am too.
Okay, very good. Go ahead.
To Israel, he discriminates on old white guys.
Go ahead. It's got a little bit more.
Okay. With the goal to 20% of the funds to support economic development for women and racial minorities.
And who's that signed by, Henry?
This looks like it's signed by Vic Miller, my favorite
And
politician.
there's another one. That's the county
Oh,
side.
Vic Miller. Oh, well, she's just the clerk.
Well, no, the back page. The back
Oh,
page.
okay. Well, it's got to be the mayor.
Yes.
It's going to be the mayor.
That's correct.
And I can tell you, let's see, what year was this signed? Let's see.
Well, you can just
No,
read
hang
it.
on here.
You can read it.
Because I'll try to figure out who the mayor was back in '01. Joan Wagner.
No,
No?
it's on the back.
She was
there.
already out?
It's on the back there.
Oh, Butch Felker. He was a ne'er-do-well. He was a suck up to the chamber. He was the beginning. He was the guy that you really saw, the pay-to-play guy. You know, he just did whatever the chamber. Back then it was Doug Kinzinger.
That's correct.
Yeah, and Doug, everybody resented Doug for making $500,000 because he's pulling $250 from the chamber and $250 from Go Topeka.
Uh-huh.
But we ain't getting our money's worth. Oh, Doug did not like Henry McClure
Uh-huh.
because after he bought the land from me out there,
Mm-hmm.
after the Target opening,
Mm-hmm.
you know, he wanted to, bask in the success. But I had 180 acres on 49th under a development agreement, and they didn't work with me. See, you guys don't understand that this isn't one day Henry McClure waking up with the resentment against these people. They've been against me and working against me for a long time. Really, ever since I came back to Topeka,
Mm-hmm.
because I was the outsider by then.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you leave for 18 years
Mm-hmm.
and you work with, I worked with real big guys.
Mm-hmm.
None, I mean, anybody in Topeka around here wasn't really a big guy compared to the people that I dealt with over my time.
Yes.
And so, like, I'm not impressed by Topeka.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Well, you guys are up and comers,
Right. Now, did you receive? Gotta get a Kleenex there for me.
Yeah. Where's
Did
the
you receive-
Kleenexes?
What'd you do with them?
I
Did
don't
you
know.
receive the? Did you receive just a moment? Excuse me. Did you receive the? I'll be right back.
Are you allergic to the shit I'm talking?
Well, no.
Anyway, it's true. One of my biggest paydays was selling land to Go Topeka personally, and the land since vacant. And I don't think the growth organization of Topeka should take title to the land. I don't think Go Topeka should be able to have board meetings that the public can't come to, where an NGO is basically deciding where to put taxpayers and their tax dollars, and they're basically just giving money to their membership. When you guys, this will be Shawnee, Go Topeka will be Shawnee County Doge, so. And what's going on with Elon Musk right now, it's really a shame. People are just so fucking stupid. They don't know who Hitler was. Adolf Hitler thought there was a master race, and he wanted to eliminate the Jews to redistribute their wealth, because he was jealous of how all the Jews stuck together in business. And to exterminate 6.5 million Jews over wealth distribution and racism, there's just no connection between anybody in American politics or private business that equates to that to make the scales level.
Did you want a copy of this?
Not really.
Okay,
I got
you've
it.
got a copy. Okay, very good.
I've saved every whip stitch of stuff.
Very, very, very
When
good.
it's time to come out with everything, we'll come out with it.
So yeah, I wanted to thank you for setting up that meeting, and hopefully we can continue to have that meeting.
In Myrtle Beach?
Well, that's a very good question, Henry. What's going on, Henry? Your lips are sealed, huh?
Look, the rats jump ship.
Hmm.
You know, when shit's gonna hit the fan, the rats jump ship.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying Matt's a rat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Matt is an enabler. Matt is an enabler, just doing
His job.
his job as the membership dictates to him.
Now, as you say, as the membership.
The membership of the chamber really dictates what's going on.
Now, you have mentioned the name in the past of Cody Foster. Is he a part of that?
Yeah,
membership?
he's an enabler. In
Is
fact,
he a
what
part
we
of
ought to do, this is what I want to do, we ought to figure out how much money does Cody Foster donate to the chamber.
Mm-hmm.
So look, if he's highly invested in the chamber and go Topeka, we should consider that if he's ever receiving public funds.
Well, in my little bit of review, it appears as though Cody is a God-fearing man. And if he's a God-fearing man, he quoted Ephesians 3:20.
He did?
In part of the review I was studying on him. And in Ephesians 3:20, it indicates the fact, and this is, I'm just going to sum it up, to much is given, much is required. So I want to say that is Cody's responsibility also to help the poor. Let me just say it.
Wait a minute.
Let me just say it the way it is.
Okay.
To help the poor, to help those who those funds through this ordinance here that Henry read, to help those that some of those funds, 10% minorities, 20%, 10% minimum, 20% for minorities and women. Now, if that's the case, what you're saying, Henry, I have no problem with the empowerment of the economic development plan. My concern is that Cody will take the time to convince his members that we need to reach out and, for instance, let me give you an example. 20%. If Cody, if you build a construction building, if you build a building, if you even have a building remodeled, you should make sure that there is a minority company, up to 20% of the funds will go to a minority. If you don't know a plumber, if you don't know an electrician, we do final cleans, Cody. And we've been doing it for 25 years. So include us on that project. And there are up and coming businesses, and we want to make sure, because I've been in the business for 20 years, Henry, and I don't see many, and I'm talking about throughout Kansas, and I don't see many plumbers, minority plumbers out there, or carpenters, or electricians. But if I was to run for mayor, and was elected as mayor, then I would ensure that as mayor of Topeka, we will bring back affirmative action. As mayor, we will ensure that 20% of all government contracts go towards minority and women-owned businesses. Now, you shake your head, but that's what I would do.
I'm telling you why.
Go ahead, Henry.
I'm telling you
Go
why.
ahead. Go ahead.
Because I think that is the basis of discrimination. I want to
no,
give
no.
the job to the best
No,
bid,
no.
and I want
No.
the American way to be.
No.
What
What
I
you don't
want-
understand,
No,
Henry,
no, but hang on.
Go ahead.
Let's
go
kick
ahead.
it up a level.
Go ahead.
Let's start about the infrastructure of opportunity. So let's take it up here to this level. So if all the deals are being made at Go Topeka and the chamber,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Well, then Cody is the only one doling out all the stuff.
Okay.
Well, if we change it to where there's an even playing field,
Okay.
then people like you might have a shot at a deal, and then you can do what you want,
Okay.
right? And I
Okay.
think, I'm not saying that in theory what you say is wrong.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
But I think you got to let the free market
Yes,
decide that.
that's correct.
And I don't want to create any law or rule that requires a businessman to live up to that.
Well, affirmative action is already a law. See, Henry, what you don't realize is at Washburn, who was the chancellor of Washburn prior to this lady coming? Do you remember his name?
You mean Jerry Farley?
Jerry Farley.
He was president.
He was the president. Jerry Farley, you seen the pictures I sent you at my dad's business?
Yeah.
Jerry Farley had flew his plane into Mid-America Aviation to do a interview for the job. This was back in I don't remember the dates, 1990 something. I don't remember. It might have been in 2000, early 2000 or so. He had one of those experimental planes that I would have never flown in. He was a brave man. He was really a brave man. He flew it in from Oklahoma, and he got the job. And he's changed this community.
Jerry did?
Jerry changed this community. He's changed Washburn, but he's changed the community also.
I like Jerry.
Yeah, he's made a positive influence in this community.
He supported my project.
And he supported me. The little things I were doing. Now, where I'm going with this is that because of that, I was able to meet, you both know this name, Art Fletcher. You know that name?
No.
He's a black man. He is the father of affirmative action
Okay.
during the Nixon administration. And what you don't understand is this, Henry. It's not a set aside, Henry. It's not about the other businesses are better.
Well, that
It's about, well, just a minute, hold on, Henry. It's about inclusion. It's about inclusion. It's about the fact that you say that you talk about race. Okay. Now, are you saying racism does not exist in America?
It sure as hell does.
Okay, very good. And so, how do we combat that, Henry?
Just we got as individuals stop doing it.
But are we doing that? And are we?
I can't control the.
That is correct. All you
I
control
can't
is Henry.
control. Yeah, the best I can do.
Yeah.
But here's what I'm
Go
saying:
ahead, go ahead.
the infrastructure of opportunity is so. If Cody's not living up to the code you like today,
Yes.
well, maybe it's time Cody gets knocked off his high horse.
Okay, I agree.
Yeah,
If
and
he cannot live up to the responsibility that I just laid out here.
but see, I don't think that makes you electable personally.
Well, if I'm not electable, I won't be. But I can
This is
still
just
share
my-
But I can still share my views.
Absolutely, but this
Now,
is
something
just
else I
my
wanna-
opinion.
Something else you brought to my attention, Henry. I was talking about last Saturday
Yes, sir.
that we would run a census. Now, the Lord spoke to me since then, Henry, and there will be no census because I will trust in the faith of the Lord. If I decide to throw my hat in the ring,
Right.
then I will I will have trust and faith in the Lord.
It's only $50. Go do it.
You see what I'm saying? But before I do it, Henry, you see, I'm a busy man too. You're not the only businessman.
I'm not saying
I'm a busy
that I am.
man. Now, I have to be able to check, and I've done some checking. Now, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I can still run my business as a mayor. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Because this is a small community, and I don't think it will take up all my time. And if I'm not electable, at least we can bring forth the issues.
But look, I'm not saying that I've got the answers. Okay.
Well, I do.
What? Okay. Well,
I
that's
do.
why you got to run for mayor.
I do have the answers.
Okay. Now, what I'm saying is, so I want to.
So you're saying that, Henry, if something were to happen to me.
No, but hang on a second here.
Go
Let's
ahead,
break it
go
down to
ahead.
brass tacks.
Go ahead.
So I'm a cleaning man,
Okay.
and I operate a good crew. Been in business for a long time,
Yes.
and I'm just as good, if not better, than you.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And we're bidding on something.
Yes.
And you get the job because you're black, and I don't get it because I'm white.
Good
Is that
point.
fair?
Good point. Good point. I like that, Henry. I like that point because I want to pack.
Is that fair?
Well, I'm going to answer that, Henry.
Oh, I'll shut
I'm
up.
going to back up just a little bit. What kind of crew do you have, Henry?
Just my crew.
Well, how many people? How many employees you got?
We're equal in yoke.
No, we're not.
No, I'm just
How many
saying
employees
for the
do you have?
argument.
Okay, how many employees you have?
For the argument's sake, we're equal.
Well, I'm just saying. I've got to
So,
make a point here.
No, okay, but the point is,
But I can't make
we're
it.
equal companies.
But we can't be equal here.
No. Yeah, we can. We can
no.
just by accident.
Well, no.
By
There's
accident.
no accidents here.
No. So
No
I have the
accidents.
same amount of employees that you got. I got the same
no,
amount
no,
of
no,
equipment.
No. So let's say, let me give you an example, Henry. You have 10 employees, okay?
And how many do you have?
2.
Okay, so I got 2. No, I'm trying to make it equal.
But I'm making a point,
The
Henry.
scales of justice.
They are not balanced, is what I'm saying here, Henry.
But if they were, and
if they were, there would be no affirmative action needed.
well, no, but based on your rules,
Yes.
I don't get the job because I'm white.
Well, currently, who's getting the job, Henry?
Well, I don't know.
Well, how many companies look like me, Henry?
I don't know that answer.
Well, you know the answer. You know how much you know. How many companies do you know that look like me?
I don't know the answer to that, man.
All right. So, trust me.
You know, I'll get on the floors and scrub my own floor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, when you going to do it, Henry? 'Cause I'm
I
looking
know.
at your floors.
I know.
Can't you say on the air that you need JB?
I need JB.
Go ahead.
No, but
Go
hang on
ahead,
a second here.
Go ahead.
You're at a crossroads in life.
Yeah, I'm about to retire.
So you'll have plenty of time to be our mayor.
Okay, I like to make money too, like you, Henry.
Well, look, you can't have it both ways.
Well, you said I can work and still be mayor.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I can have it both ways. I'll be a working mayor. How about that?
I'm down.
Okay, you're down with me now.
Yeah.
I got you now. I'll be a working man.
But
You like a working man, don't you?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I'm a working man.
Very good. Very good. Very good.
You know,
Very
I
good.
like waking up, putting on my jeans,
Yes,
my
sir.
work boots,
Yes, sir.
grab my gloves,
Yes,
and
sir.
go put up my own sign.
Yes, sir. And
But I'm not going to do it.
uh-huh.
I'm not going to do it if I ever run for political office.
You're not gonna do
I don't want to be the sign guy. I don't think getting elected in this community should be who has the most amount of signs. You know, I got lectured yesterday by a good friend of mine. Said, well, you know, look at it like your own business. Signs make sales.
That's correct.
Man, so he's right.
That's correct. Yeah.
But I want to get elected by the people.
Well, that's who will elect you.
Yeah.
And
Word of mouth.
And you got quite a few votes. So did you understand what I said earlier, Henry? We won't have a census.
No, I got
won't-
it. I got
won't
it.
do a census.
But I want you just to go down.
Do you know the story of David?
Which one?
David who
Fought Goliath?
who was the king? Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
You know the story of David?
Yeah.
Do you remember the story where David he was fighting another war, and he wanted a census. but the Lord did not tell him to take a census. I'm just going to explain the story to you for us. Just take about 5 minutes.
I got 5.
And the Lord said, no, and his prophet came to David and says, why are you doing a census? You have the Lord on your side. And David did the census anyhow. David had sinned because the Lord said, you don't need us. You've got me. See what I'm saying, Henry?
Yeah.
You've got me, Henry. The Lord says you have me on your side, and David lost because he did the census. You must have faith, Henry. You must trust in the Lord. And if we don't win, what will get accomplished is someone electable that will get these things done.
See, and here's what I say.
Or we will win.
Here's what I say. You go pay your $50. I'll even be.
I'll pay it. I'll pay it.
No, but I'll be your first campaign donor.
Well, I don't.
No, hang on. I'll be your first campaign donor. And you put your name, throw your hat in the ring, per se. You know, that's what they say.
Okay.
And the world will change. Okay. The world changes because now you're running for mayor.
Okay.
And I pray that you do.
Okay, and like I say,
I'm voting for you over Spencer Duncan any day of the week.
Well, didn't you have somebody ask you, Henry, why you're doing that?
Why I'd vote for you over Spencer?
Why aren't you voting for Spencer?
Because he's a hack. He's just part of the status quo. He is a Matt Pavarnak suck up.
So he'll do what he's told to.
He's towing the chamber line. I don't know how he'll behave without Matt in town.
Well, that's another question, Henry. They're going to pick, and I understand.
Here's the thing.
Go ahead.
The Chamber of Commerce, in theory,
yes, sir,
is a good bunch of people.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
And the Chamber can fund whatever they want. They can pay Matt whatever they want. Mm-hmm. And see, the Chamber ought to fund Go Topeka out of private donations. So let the Chamber do whatever they want out of private donations. And then they shouldn't ask for any tax dollars. So if the
the Chamber's not asking for the tax.
Well, yeah, but they run the whole show. They run Topeka.
They run the show. Henry?
They run Topeka. The Chamber of Commerce and a few of the people up on top run the whole show. I mean, Marvin Spees told me the other day when I started going after the chamber members, he goes, Henry, you know, it's only a few people on the board of Go Topeka that make all the decisions. Okay. Well, see, I don't think the Go Topeka, it's the biggest NGO that we've got. It's the biggest problem. It's corrupt. They're putting money, they're just what they do. And here's what's happened. The Greater Topeka Partnership, the big group up here, they're nothing more than a fund to get people elected that believe in what they want. So Topeka never changes because the people up here are the ones getting all the money. They're not creating an opportunity, an infrastructure for opportunity. Well, they're keeping it all for themselves up here at that level.
Now, speaking of elected.
Yes, sir.
You see where my dad ran as a Republican.
Yeah, I like that guy.
Would I have to get their approval?
No. No, because...
What is Spencer?
He's an independent because he doesn't have balls enough to pick a side.
Okay.
No, it's a great way for him to hide.
Well...
But hell, I don't look at myself as a Republican, but I'm a Make America Great guy.
Well, you're a Republican. Now, what I would like to say is...
make sure you're saying it right into that microphone.
I again...
And look right into that camera. That's our customer. That's our...
Look into the camera?
Yeah, that's you talking to the folks. Quit looking at your pretty face over there.
Well, again... Now, again, Henry, I've got a little different strategy. I've tried some of the other ways, some of the one we talked about last week.
Now, what do you mean you've tried them? Just
I've tried
talking to folks?
No, I'm talking about um, going to courts and that kind of stuff. I don't do that no more. My goal now is to say to people like Mr. Foster to have some compassion. You're there. You believe in the Lord. You have a great responsibility to his people, not to me, but to his people. And I want to help be a part of the process in making those goals. I'm not promised tomorrow. Cody's probably a younger man than me, or I don't know.
I don't care how old he is.
Well, anyhow.
I don't care one thing about Cody Foster.
Well,
I don't care what Cody Foster thinks about Henry McClure.
Well, if he's a God-fearing man, you should care about him, Henry. And from all appearances, he appears.
I think it's all part of his slick salesmanship.
Well, I hope not.
That's what I think.
Because let me say something to you, Henry.
Yep. But I can be wrong.
Well, yeah, you can.
What if he was a great guy?
That's right. Now,
if he was a great guy, he wouldn't take $9.5 million of taxpayer money.
Well, maybe he has a bigger vision somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, it's about him getting rich.
I don't know the man, so I can't say. Now, this is the picture that's going out, isn't it, Henry?
Yeah, look right there.
So I can look right there, and that's going out, right?
That's what's going out.
Okay, very good. Now,
but if we talk right, that's like that's the voter.
You're interrupting me now, Henry.
Okay.
But go ahead. That's the voter there. I'll
right
look
there.
into the camera.
I'm going to put a little head on it.
Okay, very good.
Put a little bald head of Cody Foster.
Mr. Foster, I believe you can do great things with this city. And I want to be a part of doing those great things. And it would only take 10 to 20%. You're doing some great things, but we want to be included, Mr. Foster. No weapon formed against me will prosper. I'm going to say it again, Henry. No weapon formed against him will prosper. So if you want the city to prosper, we must stick with the total biblical picture, not stop with part of it. The prosperity is not there is because there's been weapons formed to keep those from prospering. So we're here today. This is a new day. This is a new title. And yes, Henry, and that's another thing, Henry. Am I going to run? I'm going to have to run as a Republican because that is our original party.
Well, but
I'm not talking about maybe the Republican Party of your people up there in the MAG. I'm talking about the Republican Party of yesterday.
You mean the ones that freed the slaves?
Who was it? Who? Yes, Abraham. Now, who is that? What's the name of that? I apologize, Henry. You have a better mind than I do.
I don't know about that.
Who is the black man that represents the Republican Party on TV?
Man, there's a lot of good ones.
No, the main one. The one that used to be the chair.
You mean the one that now flipped and's a Democrat?
No, he's a Republican still.
Shit, I don't know, man. The Magna Party picked up more black folk and Mexicans.
Just a moment. I'll get that. Go right ahead.
Let's ask Ziggy.
Go ahead.
Hey, Ziggy, who's the head cheese of the Republican Party that happens to be a black fella?
Didn't quite get that.
Not there no more.
Well, I think you're talking about Michael
Steele,
yeah.
That's who we're talking about.
He's a pundit now on, and he's running down Trump.
Well, he was the original.
He's a punk.
I don't know much about Mr. Steele. I don't know nothing about him personally. But I know that the party of Lincoln. Do you know that
He was the last Whig.
Do you know that Trump is trying to segregate restaurants and stuff again?
No,
You haven't
that's
read?
bullshit.
Is that just fake news?
Yeah.
I hope so, Henry.
Trump,
I hope
he's
so.
a friend of the black man. You know, Trump doesn't give a shit. You know what he's all about?
Money?
Green. What's wrong with that?
Well, we need to have more than money. We just talked about this.
No, but hang on. You know, he doesn't take his salary.
Does he need it?
Okay, let me ask you a question,
Yes,
Mister.
I don't know if I have any answers, but go ahead.
Well, we'll give you a choice.
Go ahead.
You could be head of the Chamber of Commerce and make $338,000 a year, or mayor.
Is that what they make?
That's what Matt Pavarnak makes. He's probably going to make
he's
more.
the head of Go Topeka.
No. He's head of the chamber.
Alan Cobb is the president of the chamber. He was the president.
No,
of the
that's
chamber.
the Kansas chamber.
Oh, you know Alan?
Yeah,
I know Alan too.
His Weimaraner's got a tail though.
His what?
His dog. His dog is a Weimaraner. You're supposed to crop the tail. No, because they're field dogs, and you clip their tail so they can get through the field. But he's got a Weimaraner with a tail. Yeah. To me, it looks odd.
So he's over the Kansas chamber.
Yeah, but you could take.
So there's a difference between the Kansas chamber and the Topeka chamber.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I say I'm new. Forgive me for my ignorance.
You don't have to apologize to Henry McClure.
And you're basically training me.
Well, so look, you could take. This is your choice today. You can either, and this is just play along with me. You could be Matt Pavarnak, take Matt Pavarnak's job, make $338,000.
Well,
now hang on, and then you hobnob. You become the hobnobber of all the big shots.
Is that how
yeah. Or you could be the mayor at $40,000 a year and fight the uphill battle of discrimination and abusive funds and all that stuff. So you can pick. You ought to go meet Cody Foster and tell him you want to be Matt Pavarnak.
Well, I could still.
You could affect change more sucking up to the rich folk.
Well, the thing about it is this: we can still get that 10% and that 20% for minorities and women at Matt Pavarnak's position.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even Henry. I don't even dream about taking Matt Pavarnak's position. I don't even dream about that. And the second thing of it is, I would not take the taxpayers' monies like that.
Okay, so
I've been living off less for years.
Okay, hang on. So
I can live off less.
So let's just say this. This is why I don't like Spencer Duncan. Because that's in the code now. He's on Jetto and he ain't living up to it. So if we're going to change something, the mayor's a Jetto vote. So the way you can affect change.
If it's a tiebreaker. No, it's a vote, isn't it?
No, but the way you
can. It is a vote. You're right.
The way you can affect change is being in there and voting for what's in writing. Now, whether I agree with the deal or not, doesn't matter. It's what's in writing. That's deal
correct.
That Jetto is supposed to live up to.
That's correct.
And if you're not following the law,
right.
Why elect a guy like Spencer Duncan that ain't following it today? Because you're just going to get more of the same. So you go in and put your hat in the ring and say you're going to affect change in the community. Matt Pavarnak didn't live up to the rule, and it's his job. Well, think about it. You give $5 million a year to go to Topeka, and they don't follow the rules.
This is my question that I would have liked, and hopefully I can still ask Mr. Pavarnak. And give him
you want to call it?
Yeah.
Let's see if he answers the phone.
Yeah.
I'll announce.
I just have one question.
I'll announce that he's live.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to do that.
Yeah. Out of courtesy. One guy always calls me, "Hey, are you recording?" And I go, "No." He goes, "No, not recording. Like, are you live?"
Yes, we're at Henry McClure's podcast.
Let's see here. He's probably packing.
Well, he is. It's okay.
We'll leave a message.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Hey, you're live with James Bolden Jr. You know James Bolden Jr.?
Hi, James.
Hey, Matt,
He
how
wants
you
to
doing,
know.
sir?
He wants to know if he's going to be able to meet with you before
Well, I have
you
another
go on
question.
to bigger pastures.
Well, yeah, but I have another.
Absolutely.
Here.
Okay, well, I just had another question, Matt. Me and Henry are discussing the ordinance between the city and the county, and I just wanted to know from you if you're aware of that ordinance, Matt.
Yeah,
What's
he
the
is.
ordinance?
You know what? It's
Well,
Saturday.
Let him talk.
Well, all right, but it is Saturday, but yeah, I know the dude's aware of it.
Well, let him say it.
All right, here. Sorry, Matt. It's James wants to talk.
Hey, Henry. Henry.
Go ahead.
I shot you. I think you emailed me a week or so ago, and I replied to you guys and just let you know what my email address was. So, James, if you touch base with me via email, we will get together, my friend.
Okay, very good. Very good.
That's all we
Very
needed,
good.
brother.
Very good.
All right.
Hey,
You guys have a good weekend.
All right, thank you.
Okay, enjoy your day.
Thank you, Matt.
I appreciate it.
all right.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I know he knows. I
Okay,
just didn't
okay.
want to.
Sure.
That wasn't going to go anywhere.
Sure.
What you really want to do.
Sure, but I don't know he knows.
I know he knows.
Okay.
He's smart.
Well, I didn't know if they showed it to him.
Yes.
Okay. That's all I need to know.
Okay. I would never lie to you.
No. I didn't know if you know. I didn't want to hear him say it, but he'll let me know when we meet.
And also, too, I didn't really feel comfortable putting him on the spot like that.
Well, that's fine.
On the show.
And that's fine. I didn't. You called him. I said I want to have.
No, I know,
Yeah.
but we now know he'll meet with you before he goes.
Well, I've already talked to him, and he did say he would meet. That is correct.
All right.
And that's fair enough.
I wasn't trying to play gotcha, Matt.
The key. Well,
and I wasn't trying to rub salt in the wounds.
And sometimes my wife says that I do run that gotcha man.
Well, I know, and
I don't mean to do that, but we're at a time now to where play days are over with. You know why? Because now I'm getting up in age. And I am learning. Did I see the picture of my dad in business?
Yeah.
His trucks and everything?
Yeah.
Can you put that up on here?
Well, yeah, I guess so.
Can you put that up on here? I would like the ones with the trucks and his plane. If you can put that up on here, I'd love you to do that.
You know,
and you go ahead and you want me to talk while you're doing that, or?
Okay, so you tell me. Let's see if we can see it.
Okay.
Right here.
Okay.
Can you see it?
Okay. Yeah. Could you open it up a little bit? Just open it up a little bit. I was just wondering if you knew how to just put it on.
It won't do it. Here.
It won't open up any? Okay. Show him the other one. Show him the other one. That one didn't look that well. There we go.
This looks like a black man in front of a plate.
That's a King Air. That is a King Air.
Is that Jerry Farley?
No. Jerry was not near that big. But I was hoping that you have the technology. You may need to get your technology.
We'll get more technical as things go on.
And maybe you can take that picture and be able to.
I'll tell you what I will do is after this show's over, I'll post them below here.
Okay, that'd be fine.
Man, it's hot in here.
So they have. It's nice in here.
Well, I had to take. Yeah, well.
Oh, you had to take your sweater off. So I just want the viewers to know I come from a long-standing family. My dad was a genius. He's very well known throughout the community.
Why was he a genius in your opinion?
Well, let me tell you why he was a
genius. Did he test out as a genius?
Let me tell you why he was a genius, Henry.
Right.
When I came up, my dad was a mechanic.
Right.
And he built his business up to when my brother came up 7 years later, my brother became a pilot. So I'm somewhat a mechanic. Now, what makes him a genius is he had 4 other business partners, right?
Right.
Or 3 others, excuse me. three other business partners, and he was the president. And whenever there was a problem, he was the one they turned to fix it.
The go-to man.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You got one of them, don't you?
Yeah, me.
There you go.
No,
And
I
so-
get the listings. I get listings
But in this case,
that nobody knows what to do with.
and I don't know, I don't put you on the spot.
I live on
But
the spot.
in this case, when the trucks, some of the trucks I was showing you,
Yeah.
he had another called a Rio. And when the air brakes lock up, then he couldn't move it, for instance. But he had the abilities to get up underneath there and figure out to get those air brakes to release. When the diesel truck wasn't operating right, then and it's midwinter time, 30 degrees below, and the rest of the owners go home. Well, he calls me out there with him so we can figure it out. And so we would eventually figure it out. One thing that I've learned in my experience is that sometimes you have to go home and sleep over it overnight. And then the Lord can reveal to you.
Yeah, you work it out
You work it out.
in your own brain. I like that. I do that every day.
Yeah. And like I say, I don't know. You may be a mechanic. I don't know.
No.
Do
In
you know
fact,
anything about cars?
I
anything
just
about
bought a
trucks?
new one from John
Do
Offer.
you know anything about trucks?
Used to totaled one day and got the insurance commissioner to help me.
We'll leave it there.
No, really. I'm just a guy. I'm a guy.
Yeah.
My father-in-law was like a mechanic,
There
right?
it is right there.
And
Did you respect him?
I love that guy.
Yeah.
I love Clayton.
Yeah.
He was a cool dude.
Yeah. Now,
He was
I didn't send you a picture of his building, but he would go on top of the building and put his radio antenna up there.
but that was something my
But then he
wife
also had the abilities to be able to market to some of the top companies in this community. Security Benefit, the Evergy, Fleming's was the first one back in the day. Fleming's is gone now. AT&T, they fly in here from Texas. And I think and that's what made him a genius. He understood that once he got with the Republican Party, that
now you're talking.
yeah. Once he got with the Republican Party, because he said to me that if you're not in a position, in positioning, because who is the authorities, and if you are not with the authorities, if I give an example, one day, 1998, they came in, they said, Jim, you don't, you owe back taxes. And Jim said, no, I don't owe no taxes. But they said, well, you do. They took his bank account, they shut him down, and he couldn't get any money. So if he did not know Bob Dole and Brownback during that day, he could not have got a meeting with the IRS to show them to where he did not owe taxes. Now, he got that meeting, he took his minister with him, Templeton at the time. And he went to the IRS and he proved he did not owe no taxes. And the IRS said, well, you sign this piece of paper that you won't sue us and we'll give you your money back. But see, without him having a contact with the legislature, with the Bob Doles and the Brownbacks, he could have not got that meeting. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all.
It's who you know.
It's who you know. So that's why.
No, but hang on a second.
Go
here.
ahead.
So let's talk about what you know.
Okay.
And that thing has been in effect since '01.
Yes.
Okay. So why should anybody on city council who is half a Jetto be elected when they haven't even been following that for?
That's a very good question.
See, that's one of the things we got to throw them all out and start over. Look, either play by that rule or change the rule.
Well, that is the reason why that I've gotten myself involved with politics. I don't want to be here, but because
But it's your duty as an
it is my
American.
duty. Tell me that again.
It's your duty as an American to do it.
Okay,
Man, even if I run against you.
that's fine. You're going to carry out these these programs, aren't you?
I want to make Jetto go away.
Make them go away.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do in this place?
Well, what are we doing now?
Huh?
Why have a group that doesn't follow the rules?
You make them follow the rules.
Well, then elect people that will make them follow the rules.
Well, that's what the mayor does.
He ain't doing it.
Well, he ain't doing it, but he can.
Spencer Duncan ain't doing it. But anybody, David Banks ought to be doing it. Everybody ought to stand up today and do what's right today.
That's correct.
Just reinvent yourself today. It's, this one thing that really sickens me about Karen Hiller. She's always going, we're just learning.
She knows. She's not learning. She knows.
She doesn't do
I
jack
know
shit.
She knows. Because she's been around a long time.
Yeah. And
But
that's
David
why
Banks-
she's got to go away.
Well,
If they're not doing it today.
I agree.
All right, a little showmanship there.
I agree, Henry.
What else you want to talk about?
Just a moment here. How long? What's our time? Oh, our hour's about up, Henry. 56 minutes. We got 3 minutes. So
That's all you get with city council to change the whole. You got to change the whole future. You got 4 minutes. Change the world. I'm going to go down on Tuesday and give them what for. You know what I want? I want you to elect the library board. I want you to elect the MTAA. I want you to elect more people. We ought to elect the Board of Regents. We got to start engaging
that is correct.
the people.
That is correct.
We've got to get the Citizens Commission
That is correct.
going.
That is correct.
And we got to get the voters off their ass and make a difference.
That is correct. And
It's not about polling.
That's correct.
It's about engaging the public.
That is correct.
If that's why I'm not going to invest any money into my own campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not going to get out and vote for me, why should I make an investment in you?
That's correct. You're making an investment in them right now, Henry.
Right now.
And if they can't see this, we are making an investment in them.
Okay,
right now.
you want to hear the whole thing of the whole thing? Right now.
Well, you've got 2 minutes.
Well, hey, okay, right
This is
now.
your show, right?
Yeah, you act like you're Mike Padilla. You know.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Henry.
You're in a bad spot.
No, I told him last week. I'm never going to ask you for anything from you, time or money. I'm not going to ask anything from Topeka. I don't want anything. What I want is create the infrastructure of opportunity
Let me say this, Henry.
citywide.
Can you hold that thought for a minute?
Yes, sir.
I have I've been dieting. I'm gonna say it that.
I've noticed
I've
you
been
look
dieting.
svelte.
Yeah, I've been dieting
Yeah.
because I want to remove my strength, JB's strength, and I want to allow. I don't have a problem being weak because I'm gonna ask the Lord to come in and to strengthen me. But I have to remove self first before that can happen. So that's why I've been dieting. So if I see a little fragile today, it's because I haven't eaten. I want to go without eating at least until 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Intermittent fasting is good for you.
Very good. Go ahead, Henry.
I haven't eaten.
I didn't mean to.
I'm on the same plan.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, interrupt me. I do it to everybody on the show. Okay, so listen to this. This AT&T building and giving Cody Foster the $9.2 million.
Yes.
This will be a bigger boondoggle than the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And just what are you going to think about it if all of a sudden Cody Foster sneaks in and owns the hotel?
Mm-hmm.
What would you think about that?
Well, I mean,
Number one, we should have never bought the hotel. But listen to this. This is
the
a
hotel.
Yeah, this is a fact.
He already owns the other hotel.
Yeah, I know. This is a fact. So you could once Mayor Padilla signs the lease, on behalf of Jetto.
Mm-hmm.
Cody could, in turn, take that lease and go out and sell the building based on the signature of Padilla. This is me just guessing.
Yeah, well, you're moving kind of fast for me, and you know a lot more about this. But what I am gathering is the fact that through this process is leaving some of the people like yourself and some of the other players out of the process.
No, what
Is
we've
that,
done.
is that correct?
Well, yes, but we've got to create an even playing field.
That's correct.
We don't get, Cody Foster doesn't qualify for money.
You mean from the taxpayers?
Yeah.
Well, I've addressed that.
You
He-
got,
he has
make the rich
responsibility.
dudes put up their own money.
Yeah, he has well, I see where you're going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rich dudes put up their own money. They don't get, we're taxing people out of their houses, poor folk. And Cody Foster, you ought to see his house out there. And
I don't need to see it.
well, I mean,
I believe you.
he's got a indoor basketball court,
Yeah,
swimming pool, tennis court, golf greens.
Yeah, well,
He's living well, but you know what? He worked hard for it.
yes,
His advisors excel,
yes.
and it's none of my business how he lives
That's correct.
until he starts taking
That
taxpayer
is
money.
correct. Now that's a problem there.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to.
So
I'm trying-
the way
now
leases
what
work,
I'm trying to do is say, well, since you're already there, if that's the case, Cody, and you're already there, now you need to begin to figure out how you can help the people that you're receiving the funds from.
well, you help the people by giving better roads for us to drive on.
That's what the mayor does.
Well, we
Are
take.
are you saying that they're taking because you know
They're
that,
taking taxpayer money.
because you know that money was initially was to build the roads.
Well, it's also for economic development.
It's also for economic.
And then
development.
Jetto
Now, how much
defines
is
what
used-
economic
How
development
much
is.
is used for what?
Well, that's why you got Miss Golden Pants Molly Howie out there doling out money like the United Way. It's an NGO giving away money. So
Now,
what?
I wanted to ask you, NGO, before you say
Non-government
NGO,
organization.
very good. Go ahead.
Did you hear what happened the other day in Washington, D.C.?
No, I didn't.
So they went over to an NGO, and I'll get the name of it, and they had private security, and they couldn't get in. This is the Department of Justice. And Doge.
They locked them out.
They locked him out. So then they come back with the FBI. They wouldn't let him in. So the president called the police, Washington, D.C. police. And they go, hey, you got to let these guys in. You know what he's doing?
No.
He's outsmarting them by just playing by the rules. And so if we point out their shortcomings today
Yes.
by not playing by the rules, and why should we elect anybody that hasn't played by the rules?
That is correct, Henry.
So throw their ass out of office because they don't play by the rules today.
I agree.
There you go.
If they're not playing by the rules,
Today.
there should be some type of
The retribution is they don't get reelected. And
yeah,
you don't
there-
elevate
there-
a guy
there
like
should-
Spencer
there-
Duncan.
There should be a course of action,
Yeah, it's in
to
the voting.
where-
It's in the ballot box.
and that's why we're here today.
It's in the ballot
Is
box.
to if you don't trust us, if the voters don't trust what we're telling them, then you can look into it for yourself.
Yeah, I got.
There's open records. There's open records requests you can make. You can go to the city clerk and make an open records request.
And you know what you do? Some days you make an open record request because you know it's not there.
What do you mean it's not there?
Well, let's say you know they're breaking a rule. You know it in your heart. So you make an open records request about that. And then they come back and tell you, no, there's not, that document's not there. Well, that means they're not playing by the rules. You can use Cora to prove the shortcomings. Look, if I'm ever in an elected office,
Document. You have to know what document you're looking for.
yeah, I know. But look, if I'm ever
The
in an elected
documents
office,
I think that the documents have been there when I've made a request. If I knew what I was requesting,
but
have
let's
you made a request where the documents weren't there?
well, okay, so let's make a request to Jetto, to the city and the county, to prove that 10% isn't going
Or is
here.
or is going?
Okay, just have them prove where it's going.
Correct.
The 10 and the 20%.
Well,
And they're going to come back with us with, well, I'm sorry, those records don't exist.
well,
Because that means they're not doing it.
that is correct. But I can make that request. If
I can too.
do you want us to do
Let's
that?
do it.
You want us to do that for next meeting?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I should.
So right now we make it to the city because Padilla is in charge of it.
Right, it's the city.
And then we
or,
also
or you're saying
No,
instead of the county, you're saying the city.
well, because they changed. Like Bobblehead was in charge of Jetto last year.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Cook,
Mm-hmm.
because he's always saying yes to whatever the chamber says.
Oh, I see. I see. Where
Like
you're
a
going.
bobblehead.
I see where you're going.
Not that he's got a fat head, which he does.
Come on.
So,
I'm trying to hold my composure.
okay. It's kind of funny. Hey, we're gonna-
You're hilarious, man.
We're going to use his head to manufacture football helmets. It will be the mold.
Well, I played football.
I did too,
Yeah. Would you?
till I was too small. I was a right halfback.
Oh, you was a halfback. You was fast, huh?
Back in the day,
Was you quick too?
yeah, I scored a
Wow.
touchdown. But this was
Wow.
like 8th grade. And then I got too small, man, I'm telling you. Over 8th grade to 9th grade, everybody grew but me. I go, what the hell? Is this land of the giants? And but I was a
But
state
it's
champion
not-
gymnast.
But it's not the size of the man.
No, it's not the size of the dog in the fight.
That's it.
It's the size of the fight in the dog.
That's it.
I was cracking up last week when you go, big black ugly men or something like that.
Yeah. I did say that.
Now Banks never called me back and corrected me, so he's not watching our show.
He's not watching, huh? Well,
No.
he's missing out.
I love Banks.
Yeah, I know
He's a
you
good
do. I
dude.
know you do.
Well, he's just a rookie.
You helped get him elected.
Oh, I don't know about that, but he's a
Oh,
rookie.
okay.
If you think I did, that's great.
Well, I thought that's what you told me.
Somebody called me up the other day, said I ran some guy out of town. Thank me. But anyway, I don't
Well,
believe I did. So, but hang on. Where were we? We were talking about
Well, we're
open
past-
record
we're-
request.
We're 7 minutes past.
Okay, but open records
Go
request.
ahead. Yes, sir.
Here's the thing. If you're mayor, I should be able to just call you up. James, would you look into this? And then you give me the data.
Well, if I'm not busy,
Well, but what they
because
do,
they have a city clerk to do that.
well, yeah, but they don't want you to know stuff. That's why the government created Cora.
Uh,
So this is what Joe Ledbetter.
that's why we're here today, Henry. is
Yeah.
because-
So I'm in a Cora, the meeting for the notes of the Go Topeka board meeting where they approved $9.2 million for Cody Foster. But legally, I can't go to that meeting. And we shouldn't have closed meetings where taxpayer dollars are being doled
Oh,
out.
wait a minute, Henry. That has to be voted on by JADO.
Yeah, but not
And you can go to
the
that meeting.
recommendation.
Well, but you can go to the meeting where. So, are you saying you would like to speak during the recommendation?
Yeah, I
Well,
want to.
now you bring it to the point. We got a couple more minutes, you say, right? Town hall meetings, Henry. Town hall.
That's how
meetings-
we're going to get you elected.
Town hall meetings should involve more than just the players. Would you agree with that? In other words,
Well, wait. Have you read about the Citizens Commission that's supposed to be up and going?
well, you talked about it last time we were here. I don't know much about the Citizens Commission. You did talk about it, though.
Hey, by the way,
In the town hall meeting.
hang on. I just got to say something
Go ahead.
because I get so much information from our viewers, and I got some information for Doge, Shawnee County Doge. It's going to be amazing. We're going to start breaking news because we are the news now. Who talks like this on WIBW?
Nowhere but at the Henry Live show.
I mean, but so it's like I don't have any advertisers to kowtow to.
Well, we can get some. That's the next thing I'm going to talk to you about.
Well,
I haven't got there with you yet. But
my clients want me to quit making these stupid shows, and hey, go sell some of my real estate in Emporia.
but you
And I don't think this is a stupid show.
Well, you think
I do enjoy Henry McClure live show.
Yeah,
I think we're making a difference.
Yeah, that's part of it right there. Because all you have to do, as you say, is have an audience, and then then they'll come. They will come. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I won't go into no more detail. What I wanted to say was that we must engage the young people in the planning process.
Right.
To ensure that the future vision reflects their hopes and aspirations. So when we say, and let me go to something before I go there. Hold on a minute, Henry. Hold on just a minute. We must foster inclusive leadership. Diverse representation. Ensure that leadership reflects diversity of the community, includes ages, ethnicities, genders, and the most important, social economic background.
If the system worked, no matter what color you are, if you come forward and you start saying it right, it's automatic.
If the system works.
Yeah, but the only way it works is getting off your ass and coming to the microphone.
Well, I was just a moment here.
Because there's some people that say it better than me. The guy goes, Henry, there are people at home thinking exactly what you're saying. They just they're not going to come forward and say it, ever. That's okay. I think it's important to be said. And what I'm sick about Topeka is I'm sick about the chamber, the Greater Topeka Partnership, appointing all the people to all the boards. And that's why I want to do away with that. The way to be inclusive is to take away their power because they're not doing it now. You hear what I'm saying? If they're not doing it now, don't you like these chairs?
Oh, these nice chairs.
They're comfortable. I bought a building and they were in the building.
That's good.
Yeah. I need to buy some more buildings.
Yes, sir.
And then get a big fat lease from Go Topeka and be part of the muckety mug. If you can't beat them, join them. Just do a better job at getting the money, huh? So now you never answered. Would you take the $338,000 a year and be the suck up?
Well,
at the
way
chamber.
you're forming it, I have to say no. The way you're forming it.
Okay, forget the suck up.
Okay, there you go. Now form it.
Okay, so would you rather be the head of the chamber and make $338,000, or be the mayor at $40,000? Where do you think you could affect the most change?
The most change?
Yeah,
That's a good question. I don't know. I can't answer that question. I don't know. Where do you think I could be the most change?
the 40 grand.
Okay,
But look,
good.
you know
I'll take
why?
40 grand.
You know why? Because if you're making $338 a year, what do you care about change?
That shouldn't have anything to do with it.
But it does.
Not for me, it doesn't. The money, you're talking the money has something to do with it?
Well, yeah.
It just gives you more responsibility. Unless you're talking about, I think I know what you're saying is, because you're saying is, and this is what I'm saying, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but at the 338 mark, you're doing what they tell you. You're doing what you're told to do.
Yeah, and you got to wake
Well,
up
no,
and
I
figure
can't.
out where to
No,
put that money.
I can't do what I'm told to do, unless it's ethically, unless it follows the Lord's teaching.
But they're not
Well, then I
following
can't do
the
that.
rules now.
I can't do that. So I would have to take the
Take the 40 and fight it
run.
and sweat it out.
Yeah, right.
But look, you're making $338. You wake up in the morning. Well, no, seriously, you're figuring out, hey, where should I be investing this money? I mean, in Topeka, there's only so much you need. You know?
Yeah, that's right.
You buy some chickens.
Yeah.
Raise your own eggs.
So yeah, I would take the 40.
Okay. Well, let's get you elected.
Well, I've got to sign up first, and I'm pretty close to there, Henry. You've answered the one question. I can still work,
Yeah.
and
You're going to
so
have to. Who could live on 40?
well, it'd be difficult now. I make a little bit more than that, but I'm just under the 100 mark. So
I make $100 too.
so the main thing with me, I've been able to buy and do things I wanted to do in life. The main thing with me is being able to. I want to see this community thrive. Even like the big city, Wichita, thrive. I mean, I was down in Wichita. My wife was living there for a while, and these guys on the motorcycles, they hit, get them up there and rode down at least a block, and they're having fun. They're enjoying life. Their streets are paved with gold. Well, maybe I'm a little too far.
I know what you're saying. I get it.
But we don't have every time you hit a bump, a rock or a hole in the road. You know that 37th Street was just paved 2 or 3 years ago, and I lose track of time, but it was just done. And there's holes all the way down to 37th and Adams and 37th in California. There's holes all the way down. We'll go to Indiana then, where Jerry Boyles used to live. From Indiana to
Jerry Boyles. Who's that?
he used to be. You don't know Jerry Boyles?
Mean of Boyles Joyland?
Yeah, he used to live there. They're on Indiana and 37th Street, that red house. And he owned the flea market too. He was a hustler. That guy.
Boyles Joyland.
Yeah.
My brother worked for him on one of those tricycles.
Okay.
Ding, 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 ding,
Oh,
ding,
okay.
ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, he's a good man. And that's what I'm saying. The city was thriving then. You had Boyles Joyland. We were kids.
I liked orange popsicles.
We could always go down. Where what? We need to bring it back. We need to bring it back. We need to bring those kind of men back. We need to bring it back. So,
Now, when I'm going to tell you you got soul, doesn't have anything to do with your color. You got heart. You know what I mean?
thank you,
Soul.
Henry. Thank you, Henry. Thank you, Henry.
That's good. That's a nice way to look at things.
So when I grew up in this community, like I say, Boyles Joyland was there. So my parents could take us out to Boyles Joyland on a weekend.
Leave you there and go home and make whoopee.
Didn't have to spend a lot of money. The kids, when you're kids, you ride whatever you feel comfortable in riding. There's food there. Your parents can spend some money and buy you some food.
Get a hot dog.
Get a hot dog. Get out of the house.
Yeah.
Huh?
Back when there was Coca-Cola in bottles.
Yes. Where have those times went to, Henry?
Well, because we think as a community that we've got to give money to Mars and to Target Distribution and Bimbo Bakery. We think we got to be a big deal. I was talking.
But that's for the big boys.
Yeah, but
they forgot about us is what I'm trying to say.
Well, what I'm getting at
you forgot about the little people.
But it didn't grow.
All you got to do is sacrifice 10% of your winnings, and and I can give you some ideas. We're talking about ideas now. They don't take much to please us.
Well, why don't you take Israel's job?
No.
Why don't we just write up a contract?
Israel's a good man. I wouldn't want to take Israel's job.
He's not doing it.
I like it. Well, he has to give again, unless they give him the tools to work with, he can't do. Have you met Israel?
Yeah.
Have you talked to him? Sit down with him.
Yeah.
Okay, I have too. And
no. I mean, not like just in passing.
We're talking. No, I've sat down and I've spoken to him for an hour or more.
Did you ask him why he ain't giving the money away like that?
He has no control over that. He do what he's told to do, just like you were talking about Matt. I think you said that about Matt. Here we are.
I'm not shrugging my shoulders.
Here we lie.
Matt just does what he's told.
Well, that's all. That's all. Well, if Matt's doing it, he's the boss. What can Israel do?
Then why do we even need them? If they're not going to comply with the rules of the Jeddah, we don't need them.
Well, I agree with that.
Took a long time to get there. But look, here's the difference. Here's the difference. I'd rather pay you $125K
Mm-hmm.
to implement that program, but just completely on your own.
I would need people. I would need help like yourself.
No, the
I
treasurer,
would need people like
the
you.
treasurer just puts the money in your account monthly, for your salary, and you make.
No. It wouldn't be me. First of all, I'm gonna tell you that now. I would need people like yourself in my corner, other people in my corner, young people giving me what their spew, and then I would take it and I would go to them and say, okay, can we do this? I would go to the leaders and I'd ask them to do this. I would ask them to do this. It would be up to them to make that decision, but I wouldn't be there long if they wasn't making the right decisions. If they did not trust me and us in making the right decisions. But I'm thinking like this: if I'm not able to get there as the mayor, then, like you said, I would like you to be there. But if you be there, then I could be where I can help you in the background, and hopefully you could make these decisions. I'm not trying to bring black people ahead of society. I'm trying to give them a leg up in society. I'm not trying for them to take over. I just want them to have a leg up because.
And this is what I'm really tired of, black and white. I really am.
Well, it doesn't matter whether you're tired of it. That's reality.
We're just men.
But that's reality.
Yeah, we're men.
Men have been using.
If you and I are
working.
working.
You go over to Israel now. If you go over to Israel, you have the same thing going over there.
You mean Israel at Go to Pika or Israel?
No, Israel. You have the same thing going. It's part of life, Henry.
Well, look, what I'm getting.
And you can't change it, and I can't change it. All we can do is deal with it.
Yeah, and if we just deal with it fairly, and the guy with the best deal.
And the way we came up with some of these programs to deal with it, to get my foot in the door. I have a couple employees. I may have 5 employees. I may have 2 employees. But I'm not going to have the same.
You know how you get your foot in the door? By swinging your elbows and being the guy that gets the deal.
No, this is how it's done, Henry. This is how it's done. The legislature. Cardinals used to be a part of there. And part of those had people within the legislature. See? And when they go to get a contract, Henry, they sign off on it. Give him the contract. I know because I know because I've had that done. I've had that done. I'm not going to say who, and I'm not going to say where, but I've had it done. They said, just sign off on JB. I got the contract. Can we be honest here?
Yeah.
Okay. But it was very few between that was done for me.
Few and far between.
There we go.
I get it.
Yeah. But, I understand that. I understand the fact that when Brownback was the governor, I was cleaning that building there on 29th in California. I did a construction cleanup. Let me say it, please. And so when I went to bid on the janitorial contract, there was a big company in Texas somewhere. $1 billion company. They got the contract there at 29th in California. 29th and Gate. Yeah. They got that contract with the department administration building, the Kansas department there now. They got that, even though I was the qualified bidder, the low bidder. So I'm just telling you reality, Henry. It doesn't always, that's reality, Henry. It's politics.
Okay, so let's talk politics. You're running for mayor, right? And you're out there delivering your message, and you bring up this 10% and 20%.
Okay, very good.
Okay, you bring that up.
We're going to have an affirmative action program.
Okay, so what percentage of the population is that going to cater to?
Well, first of all, Henry.
The voters.
Ask the question again.
you got the 10% and the 20%. You're running for mayor. You're
Yeah.
out selling your platform.
Right.
What percentage of the voters is that going to cater to? The public out there are your voters, right?
That's correct.
So when you're giving your message about that, what people out there are going to buy into what you're saying?
I have no idea.
Because that's what you got to consider.
Well, not really. What I consider is doing the right thing. And
Okay.
if people don't want to do the right thing, they don't want me there. I need to go on to Portland, Oregon,
Okay.
or California,
But-
or somewhere else.
And I'm down with that.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, it's already on the books, and the elected officials aren't doing it.
No, it's not on the books. They have taken away. When did I tell you been to City Hall?
No, I'm talking about the Jetto contract.
Oh, I was talking about affirmative action.
Well, the Jetto contract is a form of affirmative
Well,
action.
that is correct.
Yes. But the
But as
existing,
mayor, I would ensure that is what I'm saying.
okay,
That it gets done.
but that's the reason you don't elect any incumbent, because they're not doing it now.
Unless they want to come on your show and say they're going to do it. Or
No,
somebody
that's
else's
bullshit.
show.
They've had since '01 to do it. You ain't coming on my show and saying you're going to do something you should have been doing a long time ago.
Very good. Very good. Very good.
Is that a good point?
That's a very good point.
All right,
That's a very
I
good
got
point.
one.
It's a very good point.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Is there?
How we doing on time?
Are they going to another show doing it? What other?
Oh no, the chamber puts on their own show.
What time? What kind of,
I don't know.
That's on KTWU, right?
I don't know.
'Cause I have seen something on KTWU. Okay.
Hey, that's public TV.
Yes.
We ought to go on KTW. I won't cuss.
Well, they.
Hey, you know my dad donated the equipment
Mhm.
to create KTW.
Well, you know, my dad.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't. But do you know, my dad would always, what's the word I'm trying to, he always paid KTO for his.
Friends of KTW.
Yeah, he always paid to have advertise for his business.
So my dad was Oscar Stoffer's attorney, and WIBW needed new equipment. So Dad gifted
Yes.
the old
because they're a
WIBW equipment,
nonprofit. I believe that.
and that's how KTW started.
Yeah, they're always
A
asking for
McClure.
money. Yes. So your father has already been a large part of building this community. And the thing about it is your responsibility is my responsibility to keep it going. And then when we're gone, it's our children's responsibility.
And I've got
You have a responsibility, like you're telling me. You have a responsibility also, is why you're here.
Yes.
Because you're fulfilling your responsibility. And it's going to happen, Henry. It's going to happen. I have faith.
Time is it?
It's past.
I need to get something to drink.
Yeah.
I got to get some
Well,
water.
it's 30 minutes past. Do you mean when we get you some water? I got
No,
some in my
no,
truck.
no.
Well, you go
Let's
ahead.
sign off. We're
Okay,
hey,
well, very good.
Henry
We'll sign off.
McClure down in the Glass House
James
studio
Bolden
with
Jr.
James Bolden Jr. And this we're part of the Ryan Mowinkle Empire Commercial Real Estate. Ryan operates a State Farm Insurance just upstairs, and I'll be moving the Glass House studio real quick over into his old office, and then I'm going to have this for lease. And hell, I finally got a guy to clean the carpet.
Oh, yeah. I'll take care of that for you.
Got off his ass.
Yeah. I'll take care of all that for you, Henry.
I love you, man. So I hope that James goes throws his hat in the ring.
I'm closer.
Steel
I'm closer.
smashing into steel makes people sharper.
Very good.
All right, Henry McClure Live. Thank you.
James Bolden Jr.
Hey, if nobody's told you they love you today, I love you.
It's off, Henry.
No, not yet. I got to hit that end right
Oh, you
there.
gotta hit